Hello, I am Pramod Kumar. Today we will study Microeconomics, Class 12. Our book is Ncert. Our chapter is 2, Theory of Consumer Behavior. And today we will discuss part 1, that is the consumer's budget. So in this unit we will study consumer behavior in a market for final goods or services. So we will refer only goods, for goods and services both. A consumer has to decide how much of each of the goods, different goods, he or she will consume. Why that is so? Because of problem of choice. Since resources are not unlimited, the consumer faces a problem of choice and he has to choose. These are the goods and services, goods or services I will buy with my resources. Right? He will consume. Right? We will study this choice problem. And choice of a consumer, it depends on what? It depends on alternatives available to the consumer and the consumer's tastes, preferences for those alternatives. Right? So what happens here? Any consumer consumes very large number of goods and services, goods or services, right? For the sake of simplicity, we will talk here of two goods, right? What are those goods? Good 1 and good 2, right? Quantity we will decide like this: x1, x2. Good 1, good 2, and the quantity of good 1 is x1, quantity of good 2 is x2, right? Now, any combination of the amount of two goods will be called consumption bundle or just bundle. What is this? Suppose I have some income. I cannot buy all the things that I want. So I will have to choose some bundle. Right? Bundle means combination of some goods and services or goods or services which I can buy with my resources. Right? So now, for the sake of simplicity, we are taking two goods only, good 1, good 2. The quantity or amount of good 1 is denoted by x1. The quantity of good 2 is denoted by x2. Right? So here, what is a bundle? Right? Suppose I am saying I will go for bundle 0 and 5. It means I will go for that bundle where x1 I will buy 0 amount, x2 I will buy 5 units. Right? Another bundle 1 4, 2 3, 3 2, 4 1. Right? Like this, 5 0. It means I will buy this bundle, means of good 1 I will buy 1 unit, good 2 I will buy 4 units. In this bundle, if I go for this bundle, I will buy 2 units of good 1, 3 units of good 2. In this bundle, I will buy 3 units of good 1 and 2 units of good 2. Similarly, in this bundle, 4 units of good 1, 1 unit of, right? So I need to choose out of a particular bundle. So since people have limited fixed incomes, what do? They try to choose a particular bundle. Consumption bundles available to the consumer depend upon price of the goods, those two goods concerned, and income of the consumer. Suppose I want to buy 0.5, means 0 unit of good 1, 5 unit of good 2. So it will depend upon what is the price of good 1, what is the price of good 2, right? So the consumer's bundles available, consumption bundles available to a consumer will be dependent on two things primarily: consumer's income and the prices of those two goods. Suppose the price of good 1 is very high, so my bundle may consist of maximum of good 2. Suppose the price of good 2 is very high, so my bundle may consist of more units of good 1 rather than 2. Right? Then what happens? What are the bundles I can choose? Right? I can choose any bundles. Suppose x1, x2, which is equal to, what is that? Which is equal to my income, equal to or, right? I can go for selection of any bundle where the prices of those two bundles are equal to or less than my income. That's very simple. I can spend all my amount on that bundle, or I can choose to spend slightly less on that bundle. Right? Now, each good will have some price. Suppose x1's price is P1. So what happens? P1 x1 plus P2 x2, what will be? Either it will be equal to my income or it will be less than my income. Correct? Price of commodity 1 unit of good 1 plus price of commodity 2 units of good 2 will be equal to or less than my income. That's clear? Right. So now we go to, what do we go to? Budget set. What is the budget set? A budget set consists of a budget set. If consumer wants to buy x1 at P1, x2 at P2, what happens? He or she can buy any bundle such as that P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to or less than M. M is income of the consumer, right? So what is set of bundles? Set of bundles available to the consumer is called the budget set, right? Suppose 0 and 5 is available to me, 1 and 4 is available to me, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5, 0. These are the bundles available to me, right? So these are called set of bundles, right? Set of bundles. Now, suppose my income is 20 rupees. I need to buy 2 goods. And both the goods are priced at 5 rupees per kg. Suppose my income is 20 rupees. I need to go for 2 goods, good 1, good 2, right? And both the goods are priced at 5 rupees per kg. So I can go for 0, 4, 1, 3, right? 2, 2, 3, 1, 4, 0, right? Similarly, I can go for 1, 3, 2, 2, right? I am going like this. Or what we can do, we can start from 0. I can go for 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, right? One set of bundles. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. I cannot go for 1, 4 because it becomes 5 units. 5 into 5, 25. But we are having only 20 rupees, right? Similarly for 2, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. We cannot go for 2, 3. That becomes 5 units. 5 into 5, 25. 3, 0, 3, 1, 4, 0, right? This is called set of bundles. All the available bundles, all the bundles available to the consumer which he or she can buy with his income, right? With his income. Okay. Now we go ahead. What is a budget set? Right? What is a budget set? We have already seen what is a budget set. P1x1 plus P2x2 is equal to or less than M. M is my income, consumer's income, right? This is the budget set, right? Now, we can explain it like this. All bundles, we can take a diagram, right? Let's go like this. 0, this is good 1 and this is good 2, right? So, this line is called budget line. Why this is called budget line? Because any point if you take on this line, suppose AB, the consumer will be spending his or her entire income on this. Means any point will represent a set of bundles where the consumer spends his entire amount. So the equation of this budget line will be P1x1 plus P2x2 is equal to M. Right? Budget line. This is the budget line. This is the horizontal line, vertical line. This is good 1, this is good 2. Right? And this budget line is very simple. P1x1 plus P2x2 is equal to M. You take any point on this budget line and the consumer spends all his amount on the bundles available on this line, budget line, right? So budget line, all bundles in the positive quadrant. What is positive quadrant? This entire area is called positive quadrant. Are on or below the budget line are included in the budget set. Right? What is this? All bundles lying in this positive quadrant are, which are on or below this line, are included in the budget set of the consumer. And the equation of the budget set is, budget line is P1x1 plus P2x2 is equal to M, income of the. This line consists of all bundles which cost exactly the income of the consumer, M. This line, any point you take, right? Any point you take on this line, it consists of all bundles which cost exactly equal to M. M is income of the consumer. And points below this line, this area, what happens? The consumer spends less than the income, M. Points below this line, this area, the consumer doesn't spend the entire income, M. He spends less than M, right? Then, what is the budget line? Budget line is a straight line with horizontal intercept. This is a horizontal intercept. And what is the horizontal intercept? What is that? And this is a vertical intercept. The horizontal intercept is called as M upon P1. Why P1? Good 1. So the price of good 1, right? And this vertical intercept is called M upon P2. Why P2? Because this is good 2, the price of this good 2. Okay? So what do we see? In the horizontal except the bundle the consumer can buy, on that he will be spending his entire income on good one. In the case of horizontal intercept, the consumer will be spending his the bundles that the consumer can buy, if he spends his entire income on good one, right? And in the case of vertical intercept, the bundles consumer can buy if he or she spends entire income on good 2, right? It's very clear. And slope of the budget line, what is that? What is the slope of the budget line? Minus P1 upon P2, right? The formula for slope of the budget line is minus P1 upon P2, P1 upon P2, right? Now, we go to deviation. What deviation? We go to deviation of the slope of the budget line. We will take it like this. O, good 1, good 2, right? Right? So, slope of the budget line, this is the budget line, it measures the amount of change in good 2 required per unit of change in good 1. Suppose deviation, slope of budget line, this is the slope of budget line, and what is the formula? Minus P1 upon P2. So, slope of budget line measures the amount of change in good 2 required per unit of change in good 1, right? Along the budget line, correct? Now, what we will do? How does the deviation come? The deviation comes from, suppose, what is happening? There is a change. What is the change? Suppose we get a change in quantity. So, how does the quantity change? x1 plus delta x1. This delta represents change, right? So, how do we explain the deviation? Suppose this is the point x1, this is the point here, this is the point x1, x2, right? 1. And here there is a change. So, x1 plus delta x1, right? x1 plus delta x1, x2 plus delta x2. One point is this, another is this, right? Now you see this. Right? Here what is happening? See, this represents delta x2 and this one represents delta x1. Why so? Good 1 delta x1, good 2 delta x2, right? So now the formula says it must be the case that P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to M. So you see here P1 x1 plus P2 x2 is equal to M. So when you take this here P1, and how you will take it? P1 x1 plus delta x1, right, plus P2 x2 plus delta x2 is equal to M, right? So if you deduct this from this, subtract this from this, what do we get? P1 delta x1 plus P2 delta x2 is equal to 0. Right? That's clear? Now, we will discuss price ratio and shape of budget line. So, when the price ratio and the shape of the budget line. So here what happens, for having more of good one, more units or more quantity of good one, we need to sacrifice some amount, some quantity, some unit of good two. Why do we need to do that? Because our resources are limited and we have limited bundles to choose from because of income, right, and the prices of the goods, right. For having one more unit of good one, the consumer has to give up some unit of good two. Otherwise, how does it get more of a good one, right? So, how much of good two to forego for getting more of good one depends on the price of the two goods, right? Suppose a unit of good one cost P1, right? A unit of good one cost P1. He will need to reduce his expenses, his or her expenses on good 2 by P1, because good 2 he has to forego and good 1 more of it he or she has to get, right. He will need to reduce expenses on good 2 by P1, right, amount. With P1 reduce this thing, he can buy P1 upon P2 units of good 1, good 2. With P1 he can buy, what is happening once again, for having one more unit of good 1, the consumer has to forego some unit of good 2 because resources are limited, right. So how much of good 2 the consumer will give up for getting more of good 1 depends on the prices of the two goods, right. So suppose 1 unit of good 1 cost P1. So the consumer will need to reduce expenses on good 2 by P1 amount, and with P1 the consumer can buy P1 upon P2 units of good 2, right. He can substitute good 1 for good 2 at the rate P1 upon P2. The consumer can substitute good 1 for good 2 at the rate P1 upon P2, right. Absolute value of slope of budget line, absolute value of slope of budget line measures the rate, this shows the rate at which the consumer is able to substitute good 1 for good 2 when he or she spends his or her entire income, right. Got it? Absolute value of the slope of the budget line, it measures the rate at which the consumer is able to substitute good 1 for good 2 when the consumer is spending his or her entire budget, not saving, is equal to M, right. Now what we do, what happens points below budget line, right. See, this is the budget line. So what happens below the budget line? Suppose this is the point below budget line, right. This point is A, this is B and this is C. So here you will find, compared to a point below budget line, right, compared to a point below budget line, there is always some bundle on budget line which has more of one good and the same amount of the other good. You got my point? See, on this budget line, all the bundles are available. The consumer gets when he or she spends his or her entire income. Right? Doesn't save anything. Is equal to M. P1 X1, good 1 X1 quantity at the rate P1, good 2 X2 quantity at P2, spends everything is equal to M, entire income, right? So, compared to a point on below budget line, what is the point? This is the point, C, right? Compared to a point below budget line, there is always some bundle on the budget line which is having more of at least one good and no less of the other. Now take it. We are at A here. So what is happening? We are getting this much of good 2 and this much of good 1. Right? When you go to B, we are having this much of good 2 and this much of good 1. But when you go to C, we are having only this much of good 2 and this much of good 1. Right? So, when you come below the budget line, any point below the budget line, we will have at least one good less than what we will have at the budget line. So, we will explain it again. Compared to a point below budget line, there is always a point on the budget line on which the consumer gets more of one thing and same of the other. Right? So, at A, the consumer is getting this much of good 2, right, and this much of good 1. At B, the consumer is getting this much of good 2 and this much of good 1. But at C, the consumer is getting this much of 2 and this much of A, good 1. Right? Good 1 and good 2. Correct? So, at point A, what is happening at point A? The consumer is getting more of good 2 and same amount of good 1 as compared to C. As compared to C, the consumer is getting more of good 2 and same amount of good 1. At point B, the consumer is getting, what is happening at B? The consumer is getting same amount of good 2 but higher amount of good 1. Right? But that is not the case at C. Right? Any other point on AB represents a bundle which has more of both goods versus C. On AB, any other point on AB, right? Any other point on AB, this is the AB, any other point on AB, what is happening? Represents a bundle which has more of both goods versus C. Right? Okay. Then changes in budget set. What is changes in budget set? Suppose my income was, we will make it quick. Right? This is the budget line. Suppose there are two commodities, good 1, good 2, right? Suppose the price of good 1 goes down, then what happens? If price goes down, I can get more. Or let us take my income changes, right? When my income changes, so what happens? If my income is more, this budget line becomes like this, it moves outward. If my income becomes less, my budget line moves inwards. I can buy less. See, this is the original budget line. If my income increases, I can buy more. So the budget line shifts outward. If my income goes down, budget line shifts inward because I can buy less. Right? Similarly, for the price, right? Price of a commodity. If price of good one, good two, if this, suppose this is the budget line, if price of good one, what happens? Goes down. So I can buy more of good one. So it becomes flatter. The budget line, there is the original budget line, and the price of good one has gone down. So now I can buy more. Right? So it has gone flatter. It has become flatter. Suppose price of good one goes up, I can buy less. So this budget line becomes steeper. Right? In the middle, original budget line, price of good one goes down, it becomes cheaper, I can buy more. So the budget line moves, becomes flatter. Right? And if the price of good one goes up, it becomes costlier, I can buy less. So the price budget line becomes steeper. Right? So that is what it is. Okay, I think you got it easy to understand. In case of any query, please do approach me on my email ID, which will be there at the thumbnail to the video. Thank you.